I want folks to know we have your back, and we'll continue to come back and do what we can to protect our diverse communities, to protect the spirit that defines the best of this city and our state, and to push back against this cruelty. To push back against this cruelty that is being perpetuated by the President of the United States. It's by definition weakness. Only a weak person puts on a show like that with horses and bringing the National Guard that should be out there raking his forests. Rick Grinnell, his so-called czar, had the audacity today to attack this state on this anniversary for not raking its forest when we have a federal forest fire over 80,000 acres on Donald Trump's forest. In the outset, Texas only reminds us this notion that we're many parts and one body. Final point. What a disgrace what's happening in MacArthur Park. What theater. On the 6-month anniversary, after all, of these fires. That's the message from the polluted heart of the President of the United States. The polluted heart of Stephen Miller. Those National Guard men and women that were out there protecting people are now being used as political pawns. Out there on horsebacks running through soccer fields in the middle of the day. Timed around announcements and events like this. It says everything you and I need to know about the state of mind of the President of the United States in this administration. So to those that feel torn asunder by everything that's happened over the course of the last 6 months, notably highlighted and reinforced last 6 weeks and over the course of the last 60 minutes and day like today, I want folks to know we have your back, and we'll continue to come back and do what we can to protect our diverse communities, to protect the spirit that defines the best of this city and our state, and to push back against this cruelty. To push back against this cruelty that is being perpetuated by the President of the United States. With that, happy to answer any questions.
What is the linkage? You didn't mention it in your talk earlier, but the Senator did, the House members did, the linkage between the recovery in Pasadena and in the Palisades and the immigration rates. I mean, the mayor was supposed to be here, but ended up in MacArthur Park.
Well, look, you got estimated 41% of our workforce in the construction side, and that's a unique California stat. We're much higher. Texas and California have the two highest percentage of people without documentation, immigrants working in our construction unions and trades, people that are also not in the unions and trades. And so it's foundational to our recovery for him to, intentionally do what he did today. They know what they're doing. And then again, they have no idea what they're doing. And their ignorance is legendary. And the impacts of this will be felt in the recovery. And that's on them. Donald Trump owns that. He owns the cruelty. He owns the arrogance, not just the ignorance. It's by definition weakness. Only a weak person puts on a show like that with horses and bringing the National Guard that should be out there raking his forests. Rick Grinnell, his so-called czar, had the audacity today to attack this state on this anniversary for not raking its forest when we have a federal forest fire over 80,000 acres on Donald Trump's forest that these folks behind me are managing. California is an instant command leader on that. That has provided 30% of that fire to now be contained.
Governor, the Border Patrol Chief, Gregory Bovino, said to Fox, "I don't work for Karen Bass. Better get used to us now because this is going to be normal very soon. We will go anywhere, anytime we want in Los Angeles."
Tough guy.
What's your response?
Tough guy. He does work for us. He may want to check his pay stub. He's a public servant. We're taxpayers. He works for the people of the United States of America, and he has a constitutional obligation in that respect. So, with all due respect to him, he better do a better job.
Do you think Republicans are going to give you the money that you're asking for if this conflict...
We're all in this together. I'm going to South Carolina. I think they should get every penny of what they need. North Carolina should get every penny of what they need. Proud to be there in Louisiana in Speaker Johnson's old district. He should have gotten every penny that they received, every penny that they need, every resource that we can provide, including resources from the state that we offered early Friday morning to Greg Abbott. We should provide. That's the spirit that defines the best of this country, our nation, that's about to celebrate its 250th anniversary. Absolutely, I expect that we will figure out a path, a bipartisan path, to support the people of the United States of America, and those include the 40 million Americans residing in California.
Governor, the immigration rates, a lot of people have told me, people who have family members who've been disappeared is the term they're using.
That's the right term.
They say that they feel like the sanctuary state policies and sanctuary city policies failed them. So, two questions. Is there anything the state can do to prevent what is happening, like today at MacArthur Park, or other raids that happen where people are taken? Like today, I don't think we have reports that anybody was detained.
Yeah, which only reinforces the theater, the spectacle, the cruelty, the weakness expressed by the very statement of the border czar that apparently wasn't able to find an arrest. How weak, how weak, how pathetic, how cruel. As it relates to the sanctuary policies, they're limited in their scope and effectiveness. LA's sanctuary policy is different than San Diego's, different than San Francisco's, different than Fresno's. The state, altogether different. As you know, the state of California has cooperated as it relates to the transfer of criminals, people that are lifers coming out of the state system. Over 11,000 people. Just since I've been governor, I've coordinated with ICE. This is not about going after dangerous criminals. This is about going after members of our community that have been here 10, 20, 30 years. This is about destroying the fabric of this state. It's about taking this state down. That's what this is about. It's intentional. And it is cruel. It's increasingly inhumane. And it's increasingly become a spectacle. And it's become theater. But real people's lives are being impacted. And so we'll continue to do what we can through our network, our rapid response network, to your question. We'll continue to do what we can to support people's legal rights, their due process under the Constitution of the United States. We continue to file lawsuits and continue to win those lawsuits. There is at least one other branch of government operating. And it is certainly not the legislature. It's not Congress. They have given up that role and responsibility. Speaker Johnson has abdicated that, but the courts still remain. And that will be a pathway for us to do more. But the rapid response networks, community, nonprofits, leaders well established in the state become foundational in terms of protecting our communities and supporting people at a time where they're feeling terrorized by these cruel antics and theatrics in the middle of a soccer field with horses.
Governor,
how pathetic.